Okay, nice to see you guys here made it to Edmodo so we can do this homework practice. If you take a look, we're going to do the lab graphing practice, and we're going to practice with graphing data that we had from our labs with the Sonhisal. Alright, if we take a look first, we have our data here. This is just some data for an example. We have our cold data, and we have some hot data. If you take a look, we have our temperature here in Celsius. We have 19, 20, 20, 21, and 21. We have our time here in seconds for each of those corresponding temperatures. And over on hot data, we have the same. We have 45 degrees Celsius, 47 degrees Celsius, 47, 50, and 53, and the corresponding time in seconds here to the right. Now, if you'll notice, there are some times here are the same, and that's something that we had to work on in class to be able to fix that data with the averaging so that we can demonstrate the times per second and the temperature without putting one bar of the graph on top of the other. So we solved that by taking a simple average. So if you take a look, I highlighted these in red. These are the temperatures that are the same, and their corresponding times that will need to be averaged. Here's two of them here, 93 and 90, 81 and 72. Over here we have 25 and 23. And the reason we're doing this averaging again is because the temperatures were the same. Temperatures were the same. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll average 93 plus 90. We'll add those together, then take the total and divide it by 2. We'll do the same thing with 21. We will add 81 and 72 together, divide them by 2. And we'll do the same thing with the 47s. We'll add the two temperatures together and divide by 2. Let's take a look at what that results in. For the cold data, now we're going to have just 3 temperatures, and for the where we once had 5. And for the hot data, we're now going to have 4 temperatures where we once had 5. Simply because now our averages will replace those doubled temperatures that we had here. So we just have 19, 20, and 21. The average time in seconds for the 20 degrees was 92 seconds. The average time for the 21 degrees Celsius was 77 seconds. And if you look over here in the hot data, the 47 degrees Celsius, the average time for the 47 degrees Celsius was 24 seconds. And now to work on graphing this data, we're going to need to show on a graph 19 degrees Celsius took 102 seconds to dissolve, 20 took 92 seconds to dissolve, and at 21 degrees Celsius the Sonhisal took 77 seconds to fully dissolve. Let's take a look at what that looks like in a graph. So here, if you look at the graph of cold data, you're going to see our temperatures of 19 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius, and 21 degrees Celsius. And then here to the left, you're going to see our shortest time was 77 seconds, and our longest time was 102 seconds, and our middle time here was 92 seconds. So you can see for 19 degrees Celsius, it took it 102 seconds to dissolve. For 20 degrees Celsius, the Sonhisal took 92 seconds to dissolve. And for the 21 degrees Celsius water, the Sonhisal took 77 seconds to dissolve. Now I'd like you to make a graph for the hot data from the previous page. So here is your hot data, and for your homework, I would like you to make a graph out of this data which resembles this graph. You can simply use some notebook paper, you could use your computer and then print it out. Either way, bring it to class with you tomorrow, and that will help us be more prepared for doing this graphing with our data tomorrow in class. Alright, thank you and have a good evening.